Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good evening, Toastmasters, and no more guests. Too bad. Today is November 13th, 2012. Almost the end of the year, and around this time, like so many others, I think about a New Year's resolution. Show of hands. How many people in the room have ever made a New Year's resolution? Pretty much. Now, keep your hand up if you kept it. Okay, some of you don't need to listen to me tonight then, that's okay. Most of us, myself included, don't succeed in keeping a New Year's resolution. Change is really hard. Not just in your personal life, but in an organization where you work. How many times have we heard, oh, we tried that before, it didn't work, or this is the way we've always done it. It's all about change. What was true last year is not true today. I read this book, really great book. It's called Switch, How to Change Things When Change is Hard, and I encourage you all to read it. I like the three things that these authors talk about. They involve a rider, like someone who rides a bike. It involves an elephant, and it involves a path. And if we prepare for these things when we're trying to create change, chances are we're going to succeed. So I'd like to talk to you about those three things tonight. The first is to direct the rider. What does that mean? It sounds kind of weird. The rider is your logical side. It's the side that says, give me all the information, I'll make an analysis, and then I'll make a decision. How do you direct a rider? We can know all the things in the world, but we don't know how to get there. So an example, be specific. Let's say your resolution is to eat better. We all know that using extra virgin olive oil is better if we're going to cook versus canola oil. So we make a little change. We say, when I cook tonight, I'm going to use extra virgin olive oil. Another example, maybe some of you are familiar with the eat this, not that. It makes it really easy to make a decision when you go to Starbucks and you want the venti, mocha, froppa, frappuccino, whatever it is. And there's an alternative. And it's given to you right there, and it's really easy. Fewer calories, lower sugar, use soy milk, and it tastes just as good, I promise you. You'll be satisfied. It makes it very easy to make a decision. And let's face it, even little decisions are hard to make sometimes because we have so many decisions to make every day. Makes it really easy. The second part is to motivate the elephant. Are we talking about a circus? Maybe. The elephant is your emotional side. And just like an elephant, it's big and it's strong. And if you want an elephant to do something and it doesn't want to do it, you're probably not going to succeed. So how do you motivate an elephant? How do you make an elephant want to make a change? How do we make our emotions get involved and become committed? One way that the authors talk about is to shrink the change. Maybe some of you have heard of a 5-minute room rescue. Someone came out with this book about a 5-minute room rescue. And the premise is, let's say you want to clean a room in your house, your junk room. Maybe some of you have one, where you just throw everything in there, you don't want to fix it. Maybe it's your office. Maybe it's your cabinets in your office. The premise is, clean it for 5 minutes. Most of us can take out 5 minutes of the day, and it doesn't sound that hard. 5 minutes, I'll give it a try. And you do it. And after that 5 minutes is done, you think, I just cleaned for 5 minutes and I cleaned this little section. It looks good. It was easy. And you know what? I'm going to do it for 5 more minutes. And then tomorrow, I'm going to do it for a full 10 minutes. And slowly, step by step, you make that change. So you shrink the change. And you're taking into account that education is not enough to change your behavior. That's what's so important about the elephant. You have to acknowledge that just because you know something doesn't mean you're going to do it. You have to take steps and make changes in your thought process to get there. The third part is to shape your path. You can have a rider and an elephant moving toward a destination, your New Year's resolution, but you may hit some pitfalls. Maybe the rider and the elephant don't know if they should make a left turn up ahead. Maybe they don't know that there's a cliff to the right of them because it's dark. The path is your environment. It's the structure that you put in place so that you can succeed in your change. A really great example is, let's say, we'll go back to the New Year's resolution of eating better, which I've had, so many people have had, and they just don't succeed. A very simple change is to purchase smaller plates. Maybe some of you have heard about the studies that have shown if you have a big portion in front of you on a big plate, you're going to eat it all. And in comparison, people who eat from a smaller plate that's full, but it's just smaller, are just as satisfied as those other people, and yet they're eating less. So you've taken out the decision-making process when you're putting food on your plate, and you have your plate, it's smaller, and it's there. There's no thought to it. It's done. And that's what shaping the path means. Your environment has made the decision for you, so you don't have to think about it. So aside from encouraging you to read this book, I encourage you all to think about what your New Year's resolution is going to be for 2013. And think about, how are you going to direct your rider? What are you going to learn about? Maybe you can ask one of your friends who may have succeeded in a resolution what they did. How are you going to motivate your elephant? What are you going to do to get your emotions involved? Maybe if you want to stop smoking, you'll ask to look at a real lung that has emphysema. That will involve your emotions. But only you know what's best, what's going to motivate you. So think about those things. And the last thing is, how are you going to shape your path? What are you going to do in your environment to make that change happen? And I think if we all plan for these things, everybody in this room can succeed in their 2013 resolution.